What's going on, everybody? Hope you guys are doing well. And in today's video, I'm going to be sharing some cool updates with you guys in regards to Mergestorm. We added a CLI interactive shell and also an API. So now you no longer have to open up PRs in order to make the reviews. You can actually do the reviews on a local branch and then push it to a PR. Either do 2 passes or do all the passes locally. Okay, guys, so here we are on the Mergestorm website. If you guys want to use the CLI, you go to Docs, you can scroll down, and we have the install instructions right here. It's just like installing Claude CLI, Kimi, Grok build, the same thing. You can do a curl command to install it. You can also install this as an NPM package. The way it will work is once you have your account, if you go to your API keys, so you can send reviews directly through the API if you wanted to, but the simplest way to do it is just to use the CLI. In this video, I wanted to show you guys exactly how to utilize Mergestorm to do the reviews for your project. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys one of my projects here. Here we have Cursor. We're running VAD-Proxy. So VAD-Proxy is an open source project. I will link it in the description below. Just a quick overview of how it works and what it does. The way it works is you connect to a local WebSocket URL using GraphQL. It uses GraphQL for WebSocket, and then you can essentially start listening. It will start talking. So allow, and as you talk, it will transcribe your text, and then once it transcribes your text, which you are saying, it uses DeepSeek to polish it. Then when it's done, when you're done talking, it will send it to an API of your choice. So this makes it a nice plugin for any type of voice agents that you're doing. This is the basics for VAD-Proxy. This is the public repo here for VAD-Proxy. In order to get started with this, the idea here is simple. Let's go ahead and move on to Cursor. And I'm going to show you guys how this actually works in Cursor. Here we have our Cursor window. I'm connected to my server. I've ran a Kimi K3 audit on the VAD-Proxy repo. It found a couple of issues, P0, P1, technical debt issues. So I'm going to walk you guys through a couple of workflows that you can use really nicely when it comes to working with GitHub, working with projects, and especially integrating Mergestorm with Cyclone and Tempest, how each piece of the puzzle fits in to everything. The first thing we're going to do is with Cursor, we have this P0. Okay, what we're going to do is ask it to create and open up an issue on our repo. So that the reason why we're creating this issue, we recently added issue as context to our agents. So if you're opening up PRs, it's best to have an issue linked to it if it makes sense, if it's actually solving some issue. That way, agents, when they're reviewing the PR, they're going to have a much easier time understanding what it's all about and getting some real context. Just copy this and say, please, can you go ahead and investigate this issue properly, then open this up as a real issue on GitHub. Now, I'm sorry for the typos. I'm just giving an example. I don't think the AI cares, really. Well, it's working. Cursor Grok 4.5, one of my favorite AIs. I have multiple Cursor subscriptions, and I'm supposed to only have one. But yeah, Cursor Grok is so fast. You can see it'll do everything it needs to do, and it's dirt cheap. Highly recommend Cursor Grok for any workflows that most general workflows that don't require any crazy thinking. Now, while this is working, we did install Mergestorm. So if Mergestorm is installed, all you have to do is go Mergestorm and go log in. It's going to ask you to log in. So open up this URL. Once you open it up and click Approve Device, it will automatically log in here. So you guys didn't see I did it off screen, but it will automatically log you in and save the key into this .mergestorm folder. So that's the step now. You are logged into Mergestorm. You can open the CLI just by typing in Mergestorm. You will get this interactive shell. And you can look at, it's similar to Claude. Again, you can look at costs, Control-C to exit. So it's a very basic interactive shell. So here is our issue opened up as a proper issue here. So now the next step we're going to do, we can open up a PR right away linked to this issue, but I'm going to show you guys a little bit of a better flow you can do. So here's the thing. We already have the issue defined nicely. So we're going to go right back to Cursor. So I want to explain this prompt I just typed in. So what I told the agent is I said, look at this issue. Based on this issue you wrote, I want you to create a local branch. And on the local branch, I want you to add all these fixes to the issue. Then locally, do not push the branch. I want you to locally ask Mergestorm to review the branch changes, apply any changes, and only once Vortex gives you the all clear, only then are we going to open up the PR. So sorry that So just to make sure, we're going to put this in plan mode because we want it to first make a plan for this, and once we execute the plan, it's going to go through with this. So this is one way to work with these things. The benefit of doing everything on a local branch and doing the review on a local branch before pushing and opening up a PR. First of all, if someone is reviewing your PRs, if you're not doing solo work, you are able to keep the GitHub feed relatively clean and everything is on your local branch, so you can iterate on your local branch and you can just squash all the commits if you wanted to into a single new one that opens up the PR. That is one. Another benefit to reviewing the changes on your local branch is because you're able to essentially get a second pass from Vortex. So because the first pass is done on your local branch, once you open up the PR with the linked issue, now a second pass will happen. So here it is. It did the plan. It decided on the plan. Very simple. Once you're logged into Mergestorm, the agent will have no issue sending those reviews to Mergestorm. The way it works is based on the branch you're at. You send it the diff to diff against. So since our branch is going to be local, obviously we're going to be branching off of main. So in that sense, you're going to go ahead and in your local, wherever your workspace is at, Mergestorm essentially is always linked to GitHub. So you need to be in a certain workspace. As you see on the bottom here, we are on this branch, the fix technical debt 01 branch. It's still a local branch, but Mergestorm, when you send the review to Mergestorm, it understands that you are locally on this branch. All you have to do is tell it which base to diff against. In this case, it's going to be main. So very simple. It's able to do that. As you can see, it's doing it right now. It's going to, once it creates everything, it's going to run some tests, and then it's going to send it off to Mergestorm. The way Mergestorm works, you're going to send this a request, it's going to queue it, and it's going to give you a progress bar. Once it's done, it's going to simply return back the review items. You can act on them. As you can see right here on the side, we are currently diffing against main, and it's doing the job. It got a job queue from Vortex, and it's doing the review. Once the review finishes, the agent will come back, and it's going to do this back and forth very fast, because all you're doing is invoking Vortex. You're not using Cyclone. This makes it a really fast workflow to do any reviews. Now, the agent does take into account the context, and when you do the work on a local branch and then push it to a PR, it does keep in mind the previous review chain. So there's quite a few other details about Vortex and Mergestorm that I want to go over, but this is just a nice basic workflow for you guys if you're interested in doing development more on a local branch and using our CLI. So if you guys have any more questions, I'll try to do a bit more tutorials on this, but essentially very easy. As you can see here, there's no findings. They give you a vertical of approve. Once it's approved, it's going to go ahead and push the branch, gather the PR context, and open up the PR that is linked to our issue. If we go ahead and look at our PRs here, pull request is going to be one open PR, disable GraphQL over GTP. As you can see here, it's linked to an issue, and Vortex is currently reviewing it. Probably going to be all clear, but this gives you a nice little workflow. You're able to not only work on your local branch, but also you're able to link an issue to your PR, which gives the agent even more context. Speaking of context, you can also include a .mergestorm folder in your repo and include any MD files or any TXT files that you want to include supporting documents for your repository, your coding style, different packages that you prefer over others. So that all goes really nice well into Mergestorm. If you guys want to try out Mergestorm, we do have a free plan that gives you about 50 free reviews. When it comes to the credits, so we have Vortex that's only going to charge 1 credit. We also have Tempest. Tempest is the one that does the deep review. If you want to trigger Tempest, you can do at Mergestorm-Tempest, and it will trigger this. You can select any model you want. We have Sonnet 5, Kimi K3, Opus 4.8, and Fable. Of course, each model is going to take a certain amount of credits, but if you guys need a larger systemic review, if you have a big PR and you're looking to do a systemic review, we recommend you guys try Tempest. We also support Graphite, so if you guys are doing stacked PRs with Graphite, the agent is going to have context on the actual parent-child relationship between each PRs. So it's a really nice feature. If you're actually dropping stacks of PRs, the agent will have an understanding of where each PR lies. So we highly recommend you guys. So this the current CLI only works for Vortex. We haven't not integrated Cyclone or Tempest into this, but that's coming in the future. If you guys want to check out Mergestorm, once again, we do offer a free plan. You get up to 50 reviews every month. Highly recommend you guys. Thank you so much for checking out this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.